Hi everyone, Mackie79 here and welcome to this new deck video of Magic Duels. As you guys can see, the deck that I've built for you guys today is a Gent Reanimate build. Let's dive right into it. Now I do like Reanimate decks, but I realized that I haven't actually really built one before. So I like Gent colors and I think Gent are great colors to build this archetype with. So let's see what I get. So of course I play cards to resurrect my dead creatures or my opponent's creatures, and I do play creatures that do not have specifically come into play effects. When they enter the battlefield they don't do anything. Ulamog, for example, of course when you cast him you get to exile the 2 target permanents, but it's not when you enter the battlefield, so you guys know that by now. So if you play a Necromantic Summons on him, the ability won't trigger because you don't cast him. Now, that's because I also want to be able to hard cast my big threats. I don't just want to reanimate them. So let's just check the deck out real fast. We start off with 3 fatal pushes, so 1 black, we get to destroy something pretty fast, early game, for those threats, those copters, whatever it is, you can get rid of it with fatal push if it's early in the game. Maybe even later if it's got revolt going on. Still, very awesome card, still is. Did well this season. Then Galvanic Bombardment seems like an odd choice because yeah, you don't see it that often anymore, but I still like this one. It does basically it does 2 damage, and the more you have of them in the graveyard, the more damage you do. So yeah, since we have some graveyard synergy, I thought this was a nice addition to this deck, and it's instant speed. It's everything you need actually to get rid of a creature. So when you have one in the graveyard, he deals 3, and so on and so on. So pretty nice. Then we do go a little bit the way of ramp as well. So it's reanimate and ramp a little bit. So we play the Deathcap Cultivator. For 2 mana we get this 2/1, and he can add black or green, which is great in our colors. And when he's got Delirium going on, then he has Death Touch. So yeah, pretty awesome defender as well on top of it. Then Druid of the Cowl is a bit of the same card, only yeah, it only adds green and it doesn't have the Death Touch, but it's a pretty decent card and we can play 4 copies of this. So for the ramp aspect, it's a pretty decent card. Then the key card is Cathartic Reunion. Sorcery speed, 2 mana, red and colorless, and as an additional cost to cast it, we have to discard 2 cards, but that's exactly what we want to do, and then we draw 3 cards. So if we got a few Galvanic Bombardments, we gladly want to dispose one of those, or of course one of our big fat creatures like this one is a great card to discard, obviously. So yeah, it's definitely a key card. Then Unlicensed Disintegration. I don't think I play any artifacts in this deck, but it's a little bit easier to cast than a Murder, and it's still one of the better removal cards, spot removal cards in my opinion. Gets the job done, so pretty awesome card. And yeah, if you can shoot away one of his big threats and take it back with your Necromantic Summons, then you're playing a good game, I guess. Then Kalitas, Traitor of Ghet. We need some early blockers. We can't only put fatties in this deck, of course. So we need a little bit of mid-range, and Kalitas is as best as mid-range can come, I guess. So for 4 mana, 3/4 lifelink. Yeah, if an opponent's creature dies, it gets exiled instead, which is a bit not that synergic with our deck because we don't exactly want to exile it, but it is just a great card on its own. And we do get a black zombie for it instead, so yeah. I like this card, it's just a great card. Then Yahenni's Expertise. I chose this one over the Languish this time. Usually I still go for Languish because the difference of 1 does matter. -3, -3, and -4, -4 is a big difference. Yeah, that's Sniper Elite 3. It's spring sales now, so make sure to make a purchase because there are some great deals out there. And all your creatures get all creatures get -3, and we get to cascade something with to buy something from 3 or less. So I think the Yahenni's expertise is great in combination that you can follow it up with this, because if you get to play this, it doesn't do exactly something on its own, and it is sorcery speed, and if you don't have that much mana, you kind of lose a turn. So in combination with this one, it's a good solution, I guess. If you can play this followed up by clear the board and follow it up by a reunion, I think it's pretty awesome. For example. Then I also played 2 copies of the Explosive Vegetation. I'm still not sure about this one. Could be that it's better off to trade it with some more board wipe, for example. But for now I'll keep it like this, because I do, like I said, I do want to play my fatties. I want to be able to hard cast them as well and resurrect them when needed. So yeah, it's just a ramp card. We get to search for 2 basic land cards and put them into play. Then the Gitrog Monster, it's not exactly a ramp, but you can play another land on top of your, you can play an additional land. And whenever 1 or more land cards are put into your graveyard from anywhere, you get to draw a card. So yeah, he's a pretty nice big fatty for 5. He's a 6/6 with dead touch, so he can basically handle almost everything. You have to sacrifice a land at the beginning of your upkeep, but yeah, we play that 1 land that you can keep getting back all the time. Forgot the name, but we'll see it in just a minute. Then of course the Necromantic Summons, because we're gonna take creatures back out of those graveyards. Then ever after, yeah, shuffles back into your library, so you can keep abusing it. I played all 2 copies of it. Maybe it's a bit of overkill, but yeah, because I played 2 copies, maybe it's not that bad, because then I can also discard it to the Cathartic Reunion if I still got another one, so not that bad. And you get to return 2 target creature cards instead of 1, compared with the Necromantic Summons. Then the Plated Crusher. I still think this is one of the better creatures to resurrect, because his hard cost isn't that easy. He costs 7 mana, which is pretty expensive, and 3 green is a bit heavy on the mana cost, mana base as well. He has Trample, Hexproof, 7/6, very hard for your opponent to deal with, especially if you have multiple creatures out. If not, if this is the only guy out there, he's vulnerable to sacrifice effects. But other than that, he's a pretty tough creature to deal with. Then the Distended Mindbender. I really like this card, but I'm not sure if he's got a place in this deck. He's got 8 colorless mana, and when you cast him, not when he enters the battlefield, target opponent reveals his or her hand. You choose from it a non-land card with converted mana cost 3 or less, and a card with converted mana cost 4 or greater, and they discard those cards. So pretty awesome card. Because you can control your opponent's hand a bit. And he's got Emerge for 7, so yeah, pretty awesome card, and normally you should be able to hardcast him pretty soon. Then of course the Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger. You guys know this one by now. Indestructible, exile 2 target permanents when he is cast, and when he attacks, your opponent has to build 20. And he costs 10 colorless mana, so that's why I play a little bit of the ramp effects. Now, yeah, these cards aren't... Usually when I play Reanimate, I play cards like... Normally I would play cards like the Gearhawks, you know? The Gearhawks are just awesome because they have enter the battlefield effects, for example. And I like to reanimate that stuff, but... Yeah, they're most of the time they're 6 mana, I think 1 is 7, I can't remember exactly. And that's not a big difference with the cost that you pay to resurrect it. So yeah, I don't think it's worthwhile. So you want to play bigger fatties when you resurrect it. Then for the mana base, I play 3 swamps, 2 mountains, 2 forests, both quagmires, then both of the marshes, the Cinder Glades, the Woodland Cemetery, oh my god, what a mana base, or the Rootbound Crags, the Dragonskull Summits, and then this is the one that I mentioned with the Gitrog Monster, the Drownyard Temple. You can take it back from your graveyard. So you sack that to the Gitrog Monster, take it back of course. And then the Aether Hub to fix that mana early. I don't play the Evolving Wilds because I don't want to miss any land traps neither, so... And... sorry, excuse me. If I draw too many lands, I can still discard some to the Reunion as well, so... That's why I don't play Evolving Wilds. And I guess that's it. That's the deck. Let's check out the curve. Pretty weird curve here. We start off with 7 1-drops and 10 2-drops, and then it goes down pretty fast. The 3 slot is pretty low, and then it goes up a bit. But yeah, that's because I played just those are the fatties and the resurrect cards. So yeah, the curve is always going to go with resurrect. With reanimate takes a little bit more to the right instead of in the middle, so you're always going to have a gap. If you don't want to have that gap, then you will probably be resurrecting creatures with a card that's more expensive than the creature itself. So yeah, that's something you can play that as well. It's perfectly playable. You can play lower cost creatures and resurrect them when they die. It's pretty good as well, but that's not the things that I want to reanimate. So that's my choice of play. Feel free to tweak and make something different of it, of course. Make sure what you guys think of this, let me know. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope I see you guys at the gameplay video as usual. See you there, guys. Bye bye.